We are now going to re-enter inside the city. But before then entering inside the city, we are going to take a perpendicular road, that's the Appian Way, la Via Appia. Appian Way, in the first part we are going to use is modern. Later on it becomes the Ancient Appian Way. That is in the middle of a big debate in Roman public opinion since around 50 years. Should we drive or not on the Ancient Appian Way? Actually, most part of the Appian Way became pedestrian, but the area we are going to use is still a driving part. So actually we drive on the original Roman road, and the Catacombs of Saint Sebastian, together with the one of Saint Callistus and other complex on the same area, are on the old Appian Way, la Via Appia Antica. We are going to pass by a very interesting spot, by the way, the Quo Vadis, the corner where Jesus and Peter met while Jesus was living in Rome. We'll drive in front of that place, where is a small church that's the memory, the memorial for that moment, and then from there we will reach Saint Sebastian Catacombs. Saint Sebastian Catacombs, catacombs literally means, as we were saying, catacombo, under, by the quarry, because actually catacombo means nearby the quarry, are one of the many catacombs of Rome. The most interesting, not only because of the story of Sebastian, this soldier, this officer who was killed, but also because down there has been the memorial of Peter and Paul, until when the bodies weren't moved in the Basilica of Paul and Basilica of Peter in other parts of the city. We will enter the catacombs, we will go together with the guide of the catacombs that will lead us, avoiding we get lost, as the catacombs are an underground maze of corridors excavated in tufa rock, the tufa rock that we already saw in the Mamertine jail, and down there we will see how and for how long the bodies of Christians used to be buried in these underground cemeteries. We are in the order of thousands of bodies buried down there. They're not there anymore, but we still see the original cemetery. And in a while, on your left side, when we will turn on the left, there is the Quo Vadis Church. So there is the place where, according with tradition, Peter had the vision of Jesus walking back to Rome. We are outside from the city. The Quo Vadis Church is right here, where you see the ambulance, basically. This small church here, that's called Quo Vadis Church. You can see there is written, Hanc Petrus ad Christos petit Quo Vadis. Here, Peter asked to Jesus, where are you going? And now we are on the Ancient Appian Road.
San Sebastian e poi è finita.
So we're saying we are going to visit right now the Catacombs of Saint Sebastian, so the place where the body of Sebastian is buried. Today is in the modern basilica that was built in the 16th century, but it used to be in the deepest part, inside the catacombs, in a chapel we are going to see in a while. The Catacombs of Saint Sebastian have been also, for a short period of time, the memory of Peter and Paul. So the bodies of Peter and Paul were preserved here in the so-called Apostolic Memorial, before then being moved in the basilicas of Saint Peter and Saint Paul. They didn't know if Peter and Paul were actually in the graves or not, and so they carried the relics of the martyrs right here in order to build a place to honor their memory. And that's what happened. They honored the memory of Peter and Paul here for around 200 years.
Passare. Qui. A passare.
Ho trovato un altro... Mi dispiace che ho fatto per questa cosa.
No, anzi, da una parte pure contento.
Appian Way was the most important, not because of the dimension, because actually it wasn't the longest. The longest was Via Aurelia, Aurelian Way, because it connects Rome with Northern Africa, passing through Spain, France, south of Portugal, and then north of Africa, so it was longer, half of the Mediterranean. But the Appian Way was the most important, because it connected Rome with Athens, so it connected the two most important cities at that time. The first part of the Appian Way, the one that arrived to Napoli, to the south of Italy, was built in the 3rd century before Jesus, so we talk about 2300 years ago. That road only led to Napoli, to Naples. Then, in the 2nd century after Jesus, they made Appian Way becoming longer, and so actually they built the last part, the one that goes from Napoli to the south, to the southeastern part of Italy, to Puglia, Brindisi, Brundisium. That's actually the harbor through where you can sail to Patrassus, and then to Greece, Corinthus and Athens. Appian Way, in the meantime, passing on this beautiful site where you can see Caracalla Bat. This is the largest bat complex in Rome, and so actually along the Appian Way you can imagine there were bats, there were houses, there were shops. It was actually a big road with all the things that you can imagine today on a big road, including aqueducts, because in Rome there were aqueducts bringing water to the city center. The Appian Way still exists. The old Romans call it Regina Viarum. It literally means the queen of all the roads, because it was beautiful and perfect. Imagine that 3 chariots could drive in the same moment in parallel along the Appian Way. Appian Way is the same road that Paul and Peter used to enter the city